This is FE Peer Review, the Flat Earth Peer Review channel. The date is July 13th, 2020. The video in review is titled Understand Your World, Terminator Line Disproves Science Model, video by Mr. Thrive and Survive. Mr. Thrive and Survive, I left a comment on your video describing what you need to do and saying I would be doing a video response, but that I would not be doing your work for you. Well, it turned out I was enjoying it so much that I did end up doing the work, and you'll find that in my video. But you still need to do the work yourself in order to learn properly the lesson. More on that at the end. We'll look at a brief clip from your video, starting at 0:28.
And as you can see, it's more or less a straight line. Has to be. The Terminator line has always got to be a straight line on a ball. If you have one light source, it's always going to be a straight line illuminating half of the image.
You're correct that the Terminator is, as you describe it, a straight line. Strictly speaking, on a globe, it is a great circle. Skip ahead to 0:53.
There's only one problem. The straight Terminator line doesn't work on the Earth, at least not part of the.
And let's skip ahead to 1:43.
So what's the problem? Well, the problem is when we get to each solstice, as we'll see here. What you're looking at right here represents June 21st, which in the northern half of the world is the summer solstice. I took the exact two lines. This is the exact same time of day as the equinox I showed before. And you'll see it is anything but a straight Terminator line. It is massively curved.
You said, and I quote, "It is anything but a straight Terminator line. It is massively curved." This is where you've gone off track. What you see for June 21st is indeed, quote, a straight line, or more correctly, a great circle. You are simply not understanding how to map the image you see on the screen onto a curved surface. One way you can do this is simply to mark it directly on a desk globe. If you own a desk globe, then you can easily do it with a piece of masking tape, which won't damage the globe and which will lay easily across its surface. Do this carefully, following the screen image, and you will find you've taped a great circle. Now there's one other misunderstanding going on here. Timeanddate.com show a period of twilight with a gradation of 3 bands. 1, 2, 3. However, it is not clear exactly which of these bands represents the actual line on which sunrise and sunset are occurring. Here's another site, inthesky.org. Here's another site that has the same type of app, which makes it more clear. I will use this for the following example. The site is called inthesky.org. Note that as you hover your mouse over the dividing lines, it tells you exactly what they indicate. 1 degree below horizon. Officially, this is called civil twilight, and it's 6 degrees below horizon. Nautical twilight, 12 degrees below horizon. So the actual one sun, 0 below horizon, would be the actual point at which the sun is setting. I have set the date for the summer solstice and picked a time that conveniently, let me move this around a little bit. I picked a time that conveniently places the sunrise-sunset line over several cities around the globe. There we go. Now we're getting it again. We've got Houston, hold on, Guayaquil, Lima, Singapore, Guangzhou, and Harbin. Let me adjust the time again. It goes off I have to readjust the time every couple of minutes. There, Houston, Guayaquil, Lima, and on this side, Singapore, Guangzhou, Harbin. I have also found a spot up at the tip of Alaska, western edge of Alaska, and another spot down near Antarctica. So these would be approximately the extremes, north and south. I've transferred these locations to pins on Google Earth, and in addition, I have found approximate points near Antarctica and in Alaska. There's Google Earth. We've got Houston, and I've placed a pin on Houston, and pins at Guayaquil, we're complete with typo. Lima, I found the equivalent spot on Antarctica and marked it with a pin. Coming around this side, we have Singapore, Guangzhou, Harbin, and Alaska, a spot up on Alaska. Now I'm going to go off script a little bit, and I'll just ad-lib this part. The next thing I did was I took those various pins, and using the path tool, which this is the first time I've used it, it was a chance to learn how to use it, I traced a path on Google Earth starting at Houston, made my way down through the pin for Guayaquil, Lima, pin at Antarctica, down there. Continued on from there to Singapore. It's a long stretch. Singapore, Guangzhou, Harbin, Alaska, and from Alaska back to Houston again. Back to Houston again. And lo and behold, what do we get but a great circle? Let me realign that. Check that out. That makes a nice straight line. See that? Cuts that sphere nicely in half. Let's look at it from this direction. We see the great circle, and we will see it gradually disappear as I move towards noon. There. Now it's going to start showing up on the right side. There it is. So there you go. It does indeed make a great circle. Now, I was probably not 100% accurate in the placing of my pins, but I was probably within a few percent accurate. I see that there's a slight kink in the line there. Anyway, there's your great circle. So, Mr. Thrive and Survive, this is what needs to happen here. This is a peer review video. It's not my job doing peer review to do your work for you. My job as a peer reviewer is to identify strengths and weaknesses in your work and direct you to resources that you can use to fill in the gaps that need to be filled in. It's up to you to fill in the gaps. And I just did an example for you, which is going beyond what I really should be doing, but I was enjoying doing it and I wanted to learn how to use paths in Google Earth, so I did it. So what I suggest for you, in order to get the full benefit of this learning opportunity, is to go back to this website called inthesky.org. And I picked the summer solstice, 20th of June. Let's see. What I think you need to do is do the winter solstice. That would be December. I don't remember if it's the 20th or the 21st this year, but check that up. Find the winter solstice date. I'm going to assume it's December 20th. And then check out the map that shows up. And fiddle with the time up here, where it says go to time, until you've got it lining up with a couple of good, with several good reference points, landmarks in each of the Western and Eastern hemispheres. So like right now we've got it going between New York and Montreal, up here sort of off to the side of St. Petersburg. There it's through Kabul. So let's find it. You'll want to find a better time than that. Excuse me. And when you've adjusted the time so you've got it passing through several good landmarks, go to Google Earth, open Google Earth, and if you don't know yet how to do pins and paths, read up on doing pins and paths. Those are two very convenient things to do, to have access to. And put in at least, you're probably going to want to have at least 6 points. So put pins in for at least 6 points that fall on that line there. Just to be clear, that's the line that says daylight, sun 1 degree below horizon. You don't want to be going off onto these other lines. These are not the Terminator lines. They represent after sunset. So do 6 or 8 points with pins on Google Earth and then trace a path between them. And that will show you the Terminator line for December 20th of this coming winter solstice. And then, to top it off, wait around until December 20th. And when December 20th arrives, look at what you charted out and check. Does it indeed match what you predicted with that little exercise? Now, one of the things that science can do for us is help us make more reliable predictions. So, did you predict accurately using the tools that the Globe Earth Science has made available to us? Frankly, I hope you do, because if you don't, then we have a serious problem, or I should say I have a serious problem. But I have a feeling it's going to work just the way I expect. And I hope that when December 20th rolls around, you'll get back in touch with me and let me know that it in fact did work. So that's enough. I think you got the point here. Lots to learn still. Lots of tools available. Lots of people ready and willing to help. Now it's up to you. So I'll leave you with that. I wish you an excellent day and a pleasant evening, and I'm off to finish my pizza.